Hey guys, it's Graham from Airsoft Nation, and today we are looking at the exciting 40 mic. Now, with all the controversy surrounding this new grenade, what I want to do is test this latest product from Airsoft Innovations. Does it have a purpose in Airsoft, or is it just a laser of death, which some players have suggested? Now, before we continue, I want to disclose that Airsoft Innovations did send me this to test, but my usual conditions were applied. I'm showing off the good, the bad, and the ugly. They haven't had a chance to see this review before it's gone out, and more importantly, I'm not required to say anything that's not beyond my own opinions. So with that said, let's take a look at the 40 mic. So the 40 mic, as its name suggests, is a 40mm grenade, typically to be used in a grenade launcher like this. It fires 150 BBs in 0.3 seconds. Yep, you've heard right, 0.3 seconds. It's absolutely crazy. But with a power output of 240 feet per second on green gas, what we're looking at here is effective range of 100 foot, which is about 30 meters. Although when we were using it, we did get 35 meters and a large kill radius. Just like the 40mm grenade, treated properly, this is an indirect fire fragmentation device. By that, what we mean is you'd put it in, you'd launch it up and over, and it would rain down on your opponents. Now, while the BBs do come out of one hole here, they do come out and spread very quickly, hitting 2 to 3 people at 10 meters, and way more than that at 30 meters because it covers a 5-meter range. Now, if you've ever watched Hollywood, 40mm shells don't explode like you see in the films, and in this clip behind, you'll see once the fragmentation basically hits the ground and explodes, it's more about the fragmentation range. So we're looking at about 3-meter range there, and that's kind of the similarities where the 40 mic is as far as I'm concerned. So let's look at some of the tests we tried. Over the case of a morning, we went through 6,000 BBs, 2.5 cans of gas. So what I should really do is thank Platoon Stores here for helping me through that, and obviously Cool Under Fire, that was the site that let me use this, and some of the players even actually opted into testing it out, both firing it and being on the other side of it. So thank you everyone for taking part there. Now the first thing we wanted to test was the range. Does this fire as advertised, you know? Well, at 20 meters, it hit me easy, and looking at that incoming fire was absolutely terrifying. What's surprising though is the BB spread really quickly, so at 20 meters you can hit 3 players standing next to each other, just like this video shows. So at 20 meters it's an easy target, but how about 30 meters? Well, if anything, that 40 mic was way better at 30 meters. The spread of BBs is absolutely phenomenal, covering a huge amount of ground, and to me it was like watching 300 with the raining down of arrows on the Spartans. It's a huge kill radius, as I'm going to show you here in this video. So what we have are 8 players who are spread across around about 5 meters at the 30 to 35 meter range. So the front guy's at 30 meters, I'm around the 35 meter mark, and we got 7 out of 8 players there, which is absolutely insane for an indirect fire tool. But I know what you all really want to see. What about that close-up shot? Well, here it is. I walked up to the 10 meter mark as James and Pete argued about who was going to pull that trigger. And truth be told, it sucked, alright? It really did. You can tell by my reaction in the video here. After being hit, it's just not going to be nice to face that thing head on, especially in a t-shirt. But really importantly there, no blood was drawn, and the shell hit me from head to waist at 10 meters, so there's a good enough spread. I've come back from CQB sites in a t-shirt looking way worse off. But, that said, do I suggest firing at 10 meters? No. You don't get that spread, as it's a one-shot use, and you're being just rather ineffective with it. But that is the minimum engagement distance of a 40 mic, and as you can see, it's not going to knock a player to the ground, grabbing his body in pain. And what's interesting is that most players see the 40 mic as a line of BBs, but actually that spread is quite large, and it's very hard to hit one person repeatedly in the same spot, especially after a few meters, which is something we really struggled with during our safety tests. So, talking safety tests, this was quite essential, as there's been a video circulating with the 40 mic ripping these lenses off of a set of iPro, and what's important is that iPro has been recalled anyway. So what we did is we tested 4 different eye protections, all from about 1.5 meters away, and then we took 2 of them just 30 centimeters away and fired at them. And what we were trying to test originally was a bit further away, but it was so hard to get it on one point that we just kept going closer. So what eye protection was used? So we had a pair of B&Q safety glasses, which I can't see here, but yeah, a pair of cheap safety glasses. They retail at £3. Alright, they're not designed for airsoft, but I want to see what it's like. The next thing we had were these. These are cheap China or Taiwanese safety glasses. Incredible price of £5. After that, we had some Strike Systems shooting glasses, which retail between £8 and £10, and that's quite a regular and common bit of kit that I see. And finally, my own Hero Shark goggles. Now, as you can see, these are a little bit rusty, even battered, but I was keen to see if it stood up to the challenge. And then, as you'll see, I was not going to wear these as we were doing a test, so Frank the mannequin was prepared, and I put on my One Tigress lower face mesh mask so we can test another variation of mesh. Unfortunately, that's all the mesh that we had. Now, as the videos show, none of the 4 sets of glasses failed. The Taiwanese glasses have a little wobbly arm after 3 shots on it at that point, but the lenses themselves are intact and just had a lot of BB residue and marks on them. Now, do I think it's likely you're going to be hit at that range? No. And having all the shots in one particular area is incredibly difficult due to the spread of BBs. It happens really fast, but at the end of the day, what I wanted to do is show you that on the video. I'm pretty comfortable in saying that any sufficient eye protection would be adequate, and it kind of reassures me that even with the sheer volume of BBs, 240 FPS is just only bouncing off the lenses. Shooting glasses, their weakest spot is always going to be the top frame, and they all look just fine. So with those tests done and with the range evaluated, I wanted to look at ways it could be used in a game scenario. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is mostly effective at range. It's that middle ground from a 40mm shell or grenade, kind of the Madball style, and the longer range of tag rounds. And I imagine this being used as a force multiplier when attacking like a defended barricade, pinning those oppositions down as a team push to attack, or perhaps picking off a whole group of players who are just in a tower, you know, like snipers or whatever. And then equally, it would work if you're defending. So if you had that 40 mic and there was a charge coming in, you could lay that as a covering shot, or you could take out an ambush of people who were unaware with that one shot. And it's not just the BBs, that sheer noise and appearance as they come out is a huge fear factor, and it's what I feel makes it a really perfect solution for that grenadier role that we haven't really seen in Airsoft. Now, could this grenade be abused up close? Yeah. Could it be loaded with high weight BBs? Yeah, we tried it. But at the same time, I could do the same with any of the shower grenades. I could do the same with my airsoft gun. We've seen HPA users could easily turn up their pressure. Gas blowback users could sort their gas out. It just comes to trust and integrity of the players. And the responsibility of this tool, like many other bits of our kit, all comes down to the players choosing not to abuse them. Now, yes, I recommend enforcing a 10 meter engagement distance. Probably 15 would be better and more perfectly acceptable. The same way that a sniper rifle cannot be used in less than 30 meters on most sites. Or it's a rule, just the same way that a blank firing grenade has to be thrown underarm, or trip wires have to be set no higher than knee height. It's just a rule. So with those rules said, I think Airsoft Innovations have probably done the worst job ever of marketing this properly, from using it indoors to showing pain rather than use case. And I feel that the 40 mic has finally given us that reason to use an M203 launcher. It's not for indoors, and it's not for up close. It's that created that new role for Airsoft, that grenadier, the force multiplier, and it's the closest 40mm fragmentation equivalent that we've ever seen on the field. Now, I'm actually sending my grenade forward for someone else to try, but I'm definitely going to purchase one. Well, in the next coming months, hopefully. Now, fortunately, the sites local to me are allowing the 40 mic, but given the recent controversial video, I'm hoping that this video and the footage that you can see let sites see the other ways it can be used, and hopefully they make an informed and reasoned choice and test one themselves, because ultimately everything in Airsoft has risks. We're throwing explosives at each other, we're shooting projectiles, and we're posting blocks of metal at one another, and in appropriate hands and having proper protective gear, the risks are minimal, and it's just providing more tools in the arsenal and kind of a more realistic and immersive experience. So that's really my review of the 40 mic. I hope it gives you a solid understanding and overview of what it's like. And if you've got any questions, definitely leave them in the comments below. If you're watching this today, the day it comes out, come and join me on the Airsoft Nation page, 9 PM, as one of the guys from Airsoft Innovations, Justin, is going to come on live and answer your questions. So that's kind of his lunchtime. He's going to come and take a look and really kind of answer any queries. Thank you very much. Stay safe, take your defrag, always call your hits. Graham out.